So it looks like we're a few minutes after because Matt was looking for his whatever. Trayvon, if you would please say a prayer for that, please.
Dear God, I'm very thankful being able to represent this great community, being able to serve and help. I'm fully thankful that everyone is in good health. Just thankful to be here. Amen.
And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This meeting in order. First, we have a proclamation for Travis Lowe. All right, so I'll read this and then we'll go further. Proclamation recognizing the accomplishments of Travis Lowe.
He's on the Teams call right there.
Hey, Travis.
Hello.
The Board of Directors, Administration, and staff of the City of Bluefield wish to acknowledge and appreciate the dedication and undertakings of Travis Lowe. Whereas Travis Lowe, a prior resident of Tazewell County, Virginia, held pastoral services at the Crossroads Church in Bluefield, West Virginia. And whereas Travis, now a resident of Oklahoma, is the president of the Extension Loan Fund, an organization that provides capital for growing churches. And whereas Travis previously opened a makerspace and a commercialization center for entrepreneurs to learn how to use various equipment such as 3D printers, laser cutters, CNC machines, and soldering irons to further the craft. And whereas Travis helped launch multiple businesses here in the city of Bluefield. And whereas Travis partnered with area pastor and Bluefield University to create Hookwork, a writers conference that brings international thinkers and world-class writers together in the city to share stories, testimony, faith, and ideas. And whereas Travis advocates for a balance of economics and spiritual concerns throughout gospel ministry on a national platform, choosing the city of Bluefield as the venue for this gathering of wordsmiths, readers, scholars, and spiritual leaders. Therefore, it is hereby proclaimed that the city of Bluefield honors and acknowledges Travis Lowe for his contributions to the written word, faith, entrepreneurs, and the city of Bluefield. Given under this handout, the 26th day of April 2020. Any motion to approve the proclamation? A second. Have both. Travis, I guess we'll mail you a copy of this, but I didn't attend, unfortunately, because I was running late, but I did drive by and videotaped all the various cars and their states that they were from, and I don't know when I've seen that many different tags in the city of Bluefield. So we really appreciate what you did. We had a lot of positive feedback on that event, and look forward to the next one. So,
Yes, thank you so much.
Steve, do you have anything?
No, hey, Travis, hey, it's good to see you, brother. And hey, it was awesome, man. Thank you so much for coming to Bluefield. It was great getting to meet you. I wish I was dressed a little better, but hey, it was a great event, man. It was awesome to see you, bud. Thank you, Travis.
Yeah,
it's always
thank
fun too, man.
Thank you. We've got a big event planned for next year as well. It'll be at the end of March, and we already have some tremendous speakers. Miroslav Volf is a member of the World Economic Forum. He taught a class on faith and globalization with British Prime Minister Tony Blair for 3 years. Catherine Patterson, who wrote The Bridge to Terabithia. She was named a living legend by the Library of Congress. They're both already on the slate and going to be coming to Bluefield, and we already have registrations from a dozen or so states, folks that are making the trip in, and we expect it to be bigger than this year. Probably 300 and some in attendance, and this year I think we hit 37 states and 3 countries that were represented in Bluefield. So we're trying to continue that, and I think it'll be a great event. But thank you all so much.
Thank you, Travis.
All right, another resolution. This one for Dr. Copenhagen and New River Community and Technical College. So, I'll read that and then we'll have her.
No, she's,
Oh, okay.
she's on her presentation.
Oh, presentation,
Yes,
okay.
sir.
All right.
I
I was trying to give you a
I
proclamation.
appreciate a
All right, go
proclamation.
ahead.
I never had a proclamation, so, but
We'll
I
do that next time.
It works. Thank you so much for this opportunity to make this presentation. I've been the president of New River Community and Technical College since January of 19. And for the past couple of years, once COVID got up, it's been my mission to be able to come to all the city councils, city board of directors, county commissions, and the like, to be able to give just a quick update of what the college is doing in these communities. In case you're unaware, New River has 4 campuses. There is a campus in Beaver, the campus that's in Princeton, Lewisburg, and Summersville. We also have an advanced technology center in Gent and a 1-room university in Arlington. The city council there pays the rent for us, and we have a little site set up so students who are in that part of our service area can have access to good quality internet and to turn in documents and so on and so forth. New River has approximately 1,100 students throughout this year. That is a little down from the previous several years, but that is largely a COVID thing, and we're not the only higher ed institution to be going through that. Specifically in Mercer County, at our Mercer County campus, we have approximately 90 students, and that headcount of about 1,100 includes students who are dual enrollment and students that we have that are currently incarcerated. When I look at the Nicholas County campus, which although it may be in Princeton, is designed to serve the entire Mercer County area, the 3 most popular programs that we see there are general studies, health professions, and business. A little note about health professions, that's a program that students go into as they want to do all the prerequisites needed to go into something like nursing or physical therapy assistant or something like that. Mercer County actually has sort of the smallest dual enrollment participation, which is unfortunate and something that I hope to change in the next few years. We've had 1 student from Princeton High School, and this spring we have 1 student from Bluefield State that are currently dual enrolled. And what that means is these students are taking a class that both get them college credit and high school credit at the same time. A lot of questions that I get these days do center around the COVID money that the college received out of all 3 rounds of federal money. New River received a little over $4.8 million from the 3 rounds of COVID money. The first round, it was $688,000 and some change. And of that $344,000, almost $45,000, we gave directly to our students in the form of a check. And the rest of the money we used on institutional things, especially very early on. That was a lot of PPE purchases and things as well. For the second round of funding, normally known as CARISA, the institution received $1.5 million and gave a little over $783,000 to students, again in the form of direct payment. In the final round through ARPA, the college received almost $2.6 million, and $1.2 million of that went directly to students. The balance of money, especially from CARISA and ARPA money, the college has used to improve infrastructure as far as our HVAC systems. We've got a lot of PPE, cleaning supplies, better technology for cleaning. We've spent a lot of money on technology, replacing laptops, in some cases giving people laptops for the first time, for faculty and staff. And all classrooms at any New River campus are now, by the end of the installation period, going to be 100% Zoom capable, so that students can learn through Zoom regardless of the classroom that they're in. The biggest use of money that we did use out of our institutional portion, we paid off student balances. So we went back to the semester that COVID started, so that would have been the spring of 20. And any student who had a balance of the college money at any point during COVID, we have paid off those balances so that students do not have that hanging in their head. And that includes this semester, we paid off all balances that students had after they received any sort of federal or state financial aid. We have requested some additional COVID money through a 4th round that higher ed could apply for. And we will be using that money again, hopefully to pay off student balances. and also to support our student emergency grant fund. We know that students drop out of college for sometimes only $250 of an emergency crisis. You need a tire, your car breaks down, something like that. So for the past 3 semesters, our students have been able to apply and receive up to $500 for whatever emergency that they're having, especially right now, gas. The price of gas for our students is a very painful thing. So the majority of the money we gave out, especially later this semester, did go to gas relief to help our students commute. When I think about New River and what we do for our region, because we do think of ourselves as a regional institution, one of the biggest and most exciting things that we are doing is creating an aviation mechanics program in conjunction with the Bluefield, in conjunction with the Beckley Airport and the Economic Development, New River Board's Economic Development Fund. So we had originally anticipated to start in January of 23, but that is probably not going to happen. The FAA had to change their curriculum by federal order, and they just released that new curriculum in April, so we haven't been able to really plan the curriculum part. But we have used this time to do a lot of fundraising at the federal level, for which we did receive a $300,000 earmark. And I do have a request in with the governor right now to have a special appropriation for this program. And when I think about specifically Mercer County and Bluefield, Mercer County is I think a growth area for the institution. I do not think that we're serving all the students that we could in this part of the service area. Bluefield is particularly, the college has never had a physical location in Bluefield. We were asked to participate in the Granada project through Mr. Morrison, and to renovate the downstairs area of it, the storefront facing movie theater park that they would like to do. And we are so forward to being in that space and being able to do workforce training. We will start our offerings most likely with certified nursing assistant and probably phlebotomy, because those are 2 credentials that we know can put a person right to work as soon as they complete its very short-term training, and then can, if they want to, ladder into other programs such as LPN and RN, which they can do their RN with us now instead of becoming LPN, and then ladder into, of course, the state if they want to continue their education. So I appreciate your time. I thank you for letting me share some of this news, and I will answer some questions if you have any.
Thanks for helping everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.
Chief Miller. Police Department promotion ceremony.
Afternoon. Over the last year and a half, we've had several promotions that we didn't get to present to you because of COVID. So a lot of these guys have already been working and in place, but I would like to recognize them as, for their accomplishments that they've done. Sergeant Murray, Sergeant Eagle, Sergeant Danley, Sergeant Barker. These 4 gentlemen were previously patrol officers, promoted to the rank of sergeant. They've already been working in place for some time now, so it's not nothing new for today that we're going to be pinning new badges on, because they've been doing these duties now for some time. But I thought it would be the proper thing to recognize each one of them and what they do. Sergeant Daniel Barker, Sergeant Forrest Eagle, Sergeant Tom Murray, Sergeant Joseph Daniel. I appreciate you all. In the military and police forces everywhere, when you get a promotion and you're a canine officer, your canine is also promoted to the rank of bud, which means that if you abuse that dog, there's a stiffer penalty for the punishment. So along with that, Sergeant Danley now listens to his commander, Lieutenant Ace. Hey. He's like, what's going on? Thank you. Patrolman Biggs. He's ready. He's our newest addition. He's been with us about 2 years. And Patrolman Biggs recently, Patrolman Biggs recently got into the Canine program, and we've had Maverick here for about a year and a half, 2 years. Well, anyway, even though he is part of the Canine program of the patrolman, his canine, he now listens to as the sergeant major. Congratulations. Get it out. Let's get it going. Most of you probably know these two superstars, but anyway, Sergeant Adams was promoted as part of our detective bureau. He was promoted to the rank of lieutenant. He has served us well. You've probably seen him on the videos. You know, a lot of the recent bad things that's happened in the city, he's responsible for taking care of most of it. Congratulations. And then Sergeant Copenhagen was promoted to the rank of lieutenant. And of course, he's got our superstar Thor with him. And thanks very much. And we have only our second captain ever in the history of the Bluefield Police Department. That would be Captain Thor. Thank you. Congratulations, guys. Appreciate you. All right. Y'all can go to comments. There aren't any. By special request, we're gonna move the economic development portion to this section so that we can, so Jim can go do his economic development. So.
Don't mind me sharing the screen. I've got a Zoom call on the Build Back Better regional grant that I'm supposed to be on here. So I appreciate you allowing me to do this and run. Yesterday, we had a visit from 20 organizations throughout the United States. It's the visit that Greg Puckett set up through the National Association of Counties, and they're all county organizations. Actually, I dealt a little bit with NACO when I was in Tazewell County, and also the Virginia Association of Counties. And so I presented along with Aaron Moose with Intuit during the hour or so that we had them, and we took them for a walkthrough of the Intuit facility. And I thought I'd just let the mayor, he was there and did a little welcome. Mayor, you want to just outline what we did?
Well, I mean, if this group of people are elected county commissioners across the country, it was eye-opening talking to them about the things that we're doing that, you know, I guess are taken for granted in some areas that we've never done before. They were impressed with what Bluefield had accomplished in such a short time. Intuit, Aaron did a great job of outlining why Intuit chose Bluefield and the work that Jim and his team do every day to help them with their center. There were a couple things that came out during Aaron's presentation that I wasn't aware of that I think that the community needs to know. And that is that the Bluefield site is their number one site as far as low turnover and high customer service scores. It's the number one site in the country, which that's something for us to be proud of. We were concerned when Intuit came to town that workforce wouldn't be there for them. And I think that through the efforts of bridging the gap with the colleges and the high schools, Jim did a good job of helping them get a quality staff. But I just really thank Greg for bringing these folks around. They, Jim presented to them, so they didn't share a whole lot of things that were going on in their counties, in the various states that they're in. And I think they were represented, 13 states or 14 states, something like that.
Something like that, I think it was 20, right there, the map's got where they're from.
And then, but Jim offered, and I think several of them were amenable to doing some joint training sessions and stuff like that. So I'm anxious to see what becomes of this. They were very inquisitive and very positive in the things that we were doing. Just kudos to you and your staff. I know there were a few little technical challenges, but Jim's staff, as always, adapted and got the presentation going and did a great job. So
There's a time delay when you have, sometimes when you're going through Zoom and things like that, so we did have a challenge. There was also a welcome from Brad Smith that was a video in the beginning, which he's a phenomenal speaker. I can't say enough good things about him, and looking forward to what he does in the state through Marshall University. Actually, some of them were taking pictures of the TV screens of what we were presenting, and I was getting emails during the presentation from some of the folks, one from Erie, Pennsylvania, and so we're interested in trying to help what we can with other communities. Mentioned before, we want to do a workshop on home-based business using the My Own Business platform. There's folks that are wanting to do that. So the 17th from 11 to 1:30, we'll be hosting an event. You can sign up for it on our website, mybluefield.org. And the goal is, again, using the mobile platform to help folks that's interested in doing that. Now, they still need to make sure that they comply with the business regulations and zoning and things like that. But there's a lot of folks in the area that want to sideline hustle to make a little bit additional money to support their family. So that's where we're targeting that. We received information from the Mercer County CDB that they want help with the survey. This is the West Virginia Tourism Needs Your Help. This survey, if you have your phone, you can actually try to take a picture of that QR code and it'll take you to that. The survey is kind of short, but I'll send it out to you by email. It'd be good for us to let them know about the hospitality workforce development, things like that. So we need to make sure that Bluefield is represented well. So I'll send that to you. Here's the big today. I've been involved in 3 incubator projects in my career. One is in the commercialization stage. So we set up support services for folks going through an incubator, assistance in marketing and other things like that. And the last couple of years, I wanted to apply for a food truck incubator program. And so realizing that the average food truck in the United States revenue is between 250 and 500,000. Now it's hard work, but there's the potential for a good entrepreneurial program there. So we're applying on behalf of 11 counties. Application goes in Friday. You can see our partners there. Region 1, the My Own Business Institute, Mercer County Technical Education Center. They actually have a very nice commercial kitchen that could be used as a prep kitchen. Greenbrier Valley Economic Development Corporation, Lemongrass Kitchen, which is over Raleigh County, River Gorge Economic Development Authority, City of Bluefield. Hopefully today the city will approve that. Wyoming County EDA. One thing with Wyoming County EDA is they have a loan program. So picking on Matt, if Matt goes through the training for this, we help him get his culinary food certification. We help him with his business plan. He has to take the My Own Business Institute classes, takes a little bit of a driving course, and he would be eligible for one of these 2 trucks that will help you set up at 10 locations or have it for 60 days for you to practice on your food, your menu, making sure that people are not waiting in line for 30 minutes, things like that to help prep it up. So the goal would be is to start 12 new businesses in the region per year through this program. So we'll be applying Friday. for a $400,000 grant. It does need a 20% match. It's $500,000 total project, 400,000 grant and 100,000 local match. And what I'm asking today is the city to pledge that, knowing that we're going after grant money to take the city's part out. As soon as we apply to the EDA, we'll be applying to other foundations, actually one we've never applied to before in West Virginia, and then replace it. I just need to be able to show that there's commitment of that $100,000 when we apply tomorrow, or Friday, excuse me.
Okay, I'll read the resolution. I think it goes without saying the things that we've done and that we've been able to accomplish. I think the city's more than happy with for that. And knowing that with all the trees you've got the shape that you'll find it somewhere. So resolution of the Board of Directors of the City of Bluefield. Whereas the City of Bluefield, West Virginia strives to make the community business friendly and provide adequate resources for economic growth. And whereas the City of Bluefield created the Bluefield, West Virginia Economic Development Authority to enact a three-pronged approach of economic growth for the City of Bluefield, including supporting existing businesses, cultivating entrepreneurship and innovation, and attracting new industry. And whereas BETA operates programs and training in the Small Business Success Center in the Bluefield Area Arts Center to support entrepreneurs and businesses in the city and the region. And whereas BETA had been directly involved in business incubation for several years and has developed an innovative new program, BETA intends to apply for a power grant from the Appalachian Regional Commission, ARC, to fund a food truck incubator program for West Virginia Region 1 and 4. And whereas the food truck market size in 2022 surpassed 1.2 billion and is expected to continue to grow by 3.4% this year, in addition to having a national revenue average of $250,000 to $500,000 per year. Whereas in addition to creating a food truck incubator program, BETA wishes to charter a food truck association for the region and eventually the state of West Virginia. And whereas BETA has forged partnerships with other economic development authorities in West Virginia's Region 1 and Region 4, and BETA will be taking the lead to submit the ARC Power Grant application. And whereas BETA will be submitting grant requests to philanthropic foundations to secure the 20% local match for the ARC Power Grant. And whereas the city has also received funding from the American Rescue Plan Act, ARPA, BETA has requested ARPA funds from the city in the amount of $100,000 for a food truck incubator program to fund the local match for the ARC Power Grant in the event BETA is unable to secure funding from a local philanthropic foundation. And whereas in light of the benefits of the aforesaid program, it is in the best interest of the City of Bluefield to commit such funding to such project. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Directors of the City of Bluefield hereby approves and commits funding for BETA of up to $100,000 for the purpose of development of a food truck. Motion to approve. Second. Motion and a second. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Thank you, Jim.
Thank you. And then obviously with the classes and things we've got, we encourage you to connect with us on social media with multiple platforms. And if we can do anything to help an existing business or an entrepreneur, please let us know. Right now, there is quite a bit of interest. We are meeting with at least 1 or 2 groups per week wanting to start a business. We continue to see fruit for that. So thank you again. I apologize. I've got to leave unless there's any questions.
No problem. And good reason. We appreciate you leaving. Thank you for that. And I don't know where the idea came from, but it's a really cool idea for the food truck. That's something I'm looking forward to.
Well, you and me both. It's my mom used to say when I was a kid, I had more ideas than Carter had liver pills. So you know, I don't know about Mr. Carter or the liver pills, what they do for you, but you know, to be honest, the fun thing that I have at the city is we have a board that allows us to be creative, and we can do these kind of things, and it's been successful. It's like when we wanted to start a mixed-use incubator called the commercialization station. I had many people say that's going to fail. It's worked out pretty well.
Oh, yeah.
And so, you know, and by being creative, it's allowed us to go after other people's funding for grants and things like that. They're not gonna give a grant to do what's been done 20 years ago, but we need to stay on the cutting edge of being creative. And I want all roads to lead through Bluefield to economic growth in the southern part of the state.
All right, approval of minutes from the board of directors meeting of April 12th, 2022. Have a motion for that and a second. From David. Any comments, revisions, or clarifications? All in favor signify by saying aye. Approval of the minutes from a special call of board of directors meeting of April 19th, 2022. Have a motion and a second. Questions? All right, all in favor of approval, signify by saying aye. Thank you, guys. New business, approval of code enforcement mowing bid. Move your stuff.
Got that, the bid came in at $35 per lot occurrence. Of course, that is not all inclusive. There's also fees attached to that, as we discussed earlier, but just make sure everybody's tracking. Any other questions on that?
All right, motion to approve. I have a second. Any questions? All in favor of approval, signify by saying aye. Approval of a demolition bid.
Okay, we got 3 bids that came in for demolition. This is for the Long John Silver's building on Cumberland. 9,200, 15,000 from Crossy Demo and Reclaim Lumber, and 33,000 for Lycoming Supply. That was actually an out-of-state company. Based on the fact that the Long John Silver's Corporation wants to go to auction at the end of May, I request that we do not accept this bid yet and let the auction work itself out, and we'll make a decision in June, our next board meeting, whether we decide to demolish or not.
All right, we have a motion to table the second. A motion and second to table that action. Any questions or comments? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Approval application for DEP litter control grant.
You got that one, Marie?
Thank you, Mayor and Board of Directors. I'm here this afternoon to ask for your permission to submit a DEP litter control grant for the fiscal year 2023. It's a matching grant. The top on it is $5,000, and it's a matching grant. And I'm working with Alex in our code enforcement office to secure a structure that needs to be demolished. And we're going to go with it if I have your approval.
Sounds good. Motion to approve application for DEP litter control. A motion and a second. Any questions or comments for Marie? All in favor of approval, signify by saying aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Approval of personnel policies.
Yeah, this is an update to the personnel policy within the city. I would ask 3.08 call-in benefits be pulled out. That needs to be relooked by the staff. The remainder policies are updated pending any questions from the board.
I'm going to go through briefly and outline for the public what these changes.
Danny, can you give us a quick wave top on
Just
the
the
different
top
policies?
line cover, not the
detail.
yeah.
Sick leave and some of the other stuff.
This is available for everybody if they want it on the website.
Okay, so basically we are doing a clarification to policy 3.07, where we're defining in regards to what is defined as a holiday. A lot of these policy changes in our current policies, they reference days. A day is not clearly defined for each individual department, so we're going to switch terminology to hours. We also have a update, in addition to policy 3.04, where we do a clearly define what a full-time employee is in regards to their hour requirements. We have policy 3.08. We have recently inputted a new clocking within our accounting system. The employee time clock policy clearly defines the rules in regards to clocking in and out in regards to employees' responsibilities for when they're doing that. Policy 4.02 is going to be a revision to our annual leave guidelines. Basically, what we are doing is we are revamping that policy We are giving a benefit for those who have stayed, an extra week of vacation for those who have stayed over 12 years. And we are clearly defining once again with our new accounting system with regards to how these days are tracked now electronically and based on hours. We are revising policy 4.03, our sick leave guidelines policy. The sick leave guidelines policy currently is 1.5, essentially a day and a half per month. Once again, this policy is being switched over to hours, and we are taking into consideration in regards to the different schedules for police and fire to modify that policy where it better fits them. We're also updating in regards to clearly define in regards to who gets to use it, both the individual that works here and if you would have to leave for a family member. We are inputting policy 5.08, which is a longevity incentive. This will go hand in hand with the conversation that we'll have here momentarily in regards to pay scales. The pay scales are a constantly moving thing. So what we're going to do is we're going to implement a longevity policy, which once again has to be approved by this council on a yearly basis, but however, will be automatically put into the budget. That way we can keep the pay scales moving with industrial averages. And we are clarifying our shift differential with 3.09. This policy clearly defines what is considered a night shift in regards to the hours of 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. It provides a increase in pay to help fill shifts in regards to night. And we are inputting policy in regards to 1.10 in regards to canine handlers. We currently have 3 canines with the police department and 1 canine with the fire department. These officers actually get paid per this policy in regards to a contract for proper care of their dog above and beyond their police duties. So, you know, the canines, they are at home, they go home with the officers, they go home with the fire department personnel. They are required to feed, house, you know, and it's for the well-being of the dog. And basically, this policy will be implemented and will go along with a memorandum of agreement in which each officer will have to sign, saying that they will adhere to this policy for the safety of the animals. That's all.
I have a question when we're approving these. Calling benefits and employee time clock policy are both captioned as 3.08. Which one we're approving today?
It's the numbering on the policies, probably, yeah, I'm seeing that now. The numbering on the policies has out of order. The 3.08 calling benefits will be admitted.
I'll just do my part.
Doing my part, yes. Thank you.
Okay, so I need a motion to approve revisions in the personnel policy to sections 3.07 defining holidays, section 3.08 employee time clock policy, section 5.08 longevity incentive, 4.03 sick line guidelines, 4.02 annual leave guidelines, and finally 1.1 canine at home handlers. And all of these revisions would be pursuant to the documents that you have in front of you, and that will be available in your office or online. Okay. So we have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments? Thank you. One comment. I know Kelly started some of this work as well. Just really appreciate you all going through updating all of this stuff. It's probably been since the 90s that these things were updated. I think some of it looks similar to things that Brina Shireman did at Turner Vision. She's the former city clerk, so I'm sure that that's probably where these came from. So anyhow, and that was in the 90s. So appreciate all the time and effort that's gone into this, and I think that sets a good precedent and a good guideline for our employees, and keeping our long-term employees in place where we need them so that we can operate efficiently. So without further ado, everybody in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you all. Thanks, Bob. And we'll address calling benefits at a future meeting. Okay. All right, approval of pay scales for hourly employees.
In regards to pay scales, just give everyone a little history in regards to this. Several months ago, we had meetings in regards to the ability to hire new employees, the difficulties that the economy has set forth. The result of this meeting, also, our city manager said, we can't just necessarily increase the new pay without taking care of the current employees that we have. So he requested to Treasury to go in and do an analysis in regards to pay scales for all the employees and that work for the city of Bluefield. This, of course, has led to numerous things, including the policies that we just approved. We now have developed a classification for employees, so they will be classified in regards to general laborers, CDL drivers and such. So we've developed classifications. We've developed, we're in the process of developing employee definitions, descriptions for their job functions. And we're currently got the numbers together in regards to actually do a pay scale increase. That way the city employees will be paid more in line with other companies. We both can increase the satisfaction of current employees, plus make us competitive in regards to our hiring. So,
And again, another issue that's been a long-term problem for the city, and that's attracting and keeping employees that we need to have. The things that our city employees do on a daily basis, you can't just go out and find somebody and pull them in and say, here, run with it. So something that's, again, long needed. Many thanks to Kelly, because a lot of the stuff comes from Kelly with Danny and Cecil doing some heavy revision here recently, but appreciate the work that goes into that. And I know our employees will as well.
The one thing I'd add out to the community, we had a lot of trash guys as an example. I've done it, backbreaking work at 10, 11, 12 bucks an hour. With our treasurer, we sat down. It is difficult, loans, rent, pay. If you're below 15 bucks an hour, it's pretty tight out there. And we had quite a few positions here that had a long time since a pay raise. And, and really at the end of the day, that's how you show appreciation. There's other ways to do it, but at the end of the day, money's where your mouth is. So we took a holistic look throughout the entire city at every occupation and try to make sure we had good structure, good definition, and also incentivize folks to be promoted. So we would continue to try to achieve and get a CDL license, move to the senior level in code enforcement and other positions here in the city. And all of our employees do multiple things besides their daily job. You'll see firefighters out watering plants. You'll see them hanging lights. So nobody in Bluefield's a one-trick pony. It's kind of all hands together to try to make this place better and get us where we need to go, because we're doing some great stuff here. And so this was about a 6-7 month process, with a lot of hard work with the Treasury and the HR department. Thanks to the board with a lot of good input, and the lawyer as well, to try to make sure we had a good, fair, honest salary that rewards our workers here for you all, and to keep them motivated, keep going forward. We still got a road to hoe, and they're doing a great job. And I'm very thankful that we're allowed to have this discussion. And I appreciate the board and everybody's hard work to get us there. So thank you.
And I'd like to point out, it's less than, the total cost is less than 1% of the city budget. And it's also the COLA increases won't happen this year either, because this is taking place in that. So overall, very good outcome for this. So I need a motion to approve those. Motion to approve for Matt in second. Any questions or comments? All in favor of approval, signify by saying aye.
Yeah.
So
I guess you'll probably survive then.
We'll see how it goes. First of May.
All right, let's see.
Get killed or fired, one or the other.
Approval of first reading of an ordinance creating chapter 45, article 1 through 4 of the Code of Ordinances for the city of Bluefield wireless telecommunications facilities ordinance.
So I'm gonna go really in depth here because it's about 35 pages.
Please. No, just kidding.
So basically, what this is we're establishing a new chapter. It's chapter 45, articles 1 through 4, about 27 different code sections, establishing regulations on the development of cell towers and construction of cell towers. Basically, requiring special permits and some other things so that you don't get a 150-foot cell tower right in the middle of Chicory Square. Gives us a little bit of regulations on location for cell towers, protecting the view shed. I would like to add one caveat in here. There was a misnumbering of these codes. 45, section 45.7 is missing and will require a renumbering of those, but there would be no material modifications, just that number fixed. If you look through your packet there, you'll see that it goes 45.6 to 45.8. That's a misnumbering on my part.
I'll do it. I'll read those. Well, since it's 60 pages, I guess one this.
Yeah.
And I think the big thing, Anthony, if you could explain to the community, is that one, we didn't have an ordinance previously, and we've also taken some, we've basically scoured the state to see what the best policies are to give us a.
That is correct. We did not have any cell tower regulations. Lots of places, Princeton, Beckley, Raleigh County, Huntington, Weirton, all over the state has cell tower ordinances to protect the regulation of location for cell towers. What this is, this huge packet of papers here, is basically a compilation of all the best policies that I could find from multiple jurisdictions, all kind of compiled into one.
Thank you, Anthony. Need a motion to approve the ordinance, subject to the revision of the numbering in section 45-6 through 45- what was that?
28.
28.
26.
All right. A motion and a second. Any questions or comments for anything? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Thank you for that too. I know that wasn't an easy task either. All right. Approval of purchase of a stormwater truck.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. Last year is approval of the budget for stormwater. We allocated $120,000 total for capital asset purchases. Part of those capital asset purchases was the purchase of a new Ford F-250 for stormwater. That truck is now available, and we just need approval to purchase at $32,129.
Motion to approve the purchase.
So moved.
So motion and a second. Any questions or comments? All in favor of approval, signify by saying aye. Aye. Thank you for that. Approval of the Lower College Avenue infrastructure ARPA project. Mr. Bailey? Shannon.
Actually have a PowerPoint. I'm not going to go through the entire PowerPoint today because this is all of our prioritized projects that we put together for the city of Bluefield. Yeah, this was the projects we started putting together. College Avenue is a piece that we worked on. We started phase one, completed phase one back in 2018. That was at the intersection of Maryland and College. We took a very bad section of Plank Island, replaced with a new piece. Phase two is to move down to the end of College Avenue, right at the Comcast and the state line. We have several issues with that area in terms of the main sewer that runs under College. As you can see, the top picture, there's a longitudinal crack. I don't know if this has a photo on there. There's a longitudinal crack that runs across the top of that. That's just a sign of stress wear. You know, remember this pipe was installed back in the 30s to serve that part of town. It's been in use ever since then. There's also some tops that are falling out of that main line. The most significant is right out front of Comcast. We have some pipes starting to fill there as well. The sanitary board started looking at this project back in 2019. You know, we contracted with Chapman Engineering. We've done a full-blown design on this piece. And at the time, we were going to bid this out in sections, you know, phase 2, phase 3, sort of split the cost. Get the worst part done right from Comcast and then carry the phase 3 up towards Gulf Street to replace that long run. This project currently will replace about 1,900 feet of 15-inch pipe, as long as all the street crossings that run across College Avenue that services the areas on the north side of College. The funding piece of this project, when the ARPA money came out, I think it was last year, is when the sanitary board decided that maybe to save costs and to get everything done at one time, that we should get the entire project out at once. Apply for ARPA money, you know, from the town of Bluefield, Virginia, the city of Bluefield, Mercer County Commission. And then we also have capital funding that we have built into our budget. You know, we have saved up some capital monies. As you can see, we have about $2.3 million of cash on hand. That's spendable monies that we can use for projects, equipment purchases, things like that. We've earmarked $275. Leaves us a little over $2 million cash on hand that we can use towards this project.
Shannon, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
The version that we have has the city of Bluefield in it.
Yeah, this is the old version.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
And then
This was
Mercer County is in it.
Mercer County's 300, yes, sir.
Okay.
The city of Bluefield requested they would be $200,000. This project, we actually had bid this project out. The sanitary board has already done all the design work. We've got all the fees, all the permits in place. We've already put this out for bid. We have a low bidder ready to accept the low bid. Triton Construction was low bidder at 1.6. We have in our capital funding to allocate towards this project a little over $1.3 million, which leaves us a shortfall of about $300,000 to make this project take place this year. I have secured a funding commitment from the town of Bluefield, Virginia for $100,000 to be used on this project, leaving us a shortfall of $200,000 last dollar in to make this project happen. So my request would be to ask the city board to commit $200,000 out of our open money, and we can go ahead and award this bid and get this project started.
Okay. In motion to approve $200,000 in ARPA funds for the lower College Avenue sewer replacement project. Motion and second. Questions or comments? All in favor of approval, signify by saying aye. Thank you, Shane.
And the only thing I would say to the community, just to add on top of it, so originally the project was broken down to, it would have been more expensive, more tear up down on the south of College Avenue. So this is a pretty good deal with our ARPA funds, right? We're working with the town of Bluefield, Virginia. We worked with the sanitary board. We pooled resources to get the project done faster and better. And there's some other stuff with American Water, some other folks who are going underneath their well to do the same work. But this is kind of what, you know, this is the path that we're on, is trying to figure out how to, you know, most wisely use these funds collectively for the betterment of all. We're paying a little bit more than Bluefield, Virginia, as you can see, but more of this is on the West Virginia state line. So that's why we're paying 200 and they're paying 100, but it's a good partnership. And I'm very thankful to the board and for approving it so we could do this together and take care of our citizens here in the area.
Yes, sir. Thanks. For sure.
Daniel, we've received a second.
No, Mayor, that will not be received. It's per, they changed the, it's not automatic now, it's actually per request, and that request will be submitted, towards the end of May, probably for the June.
All right, that leads to the next item on the agenda, approval of authorized representative relating to the American Rescue Plan Act. I think what we're asking is that it be made that person, since he's the treasurer and files all the documents related to those funds. So, motion to approve Danny as the authorized representative related to the American Rescue Plan Act. So have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments? All in favor of approval, signify by saying aye. Aye. All right. Lori, we missed you. Where have you been? She's on mute. She didn't miss us.
Ms. Shrewsbury?
Lori.
She had to step out. This is Missy with Region 1, so I have her draw down to present.
All right. So first on the agenda is approval of Region 1 local funds drawdown pay request number 17 in the amount of $263,431.52. Do you want to go through the what and why we're doing this, or do you want me to go through it?
I can go through it. There's admin fees. It's Region 1. It's an amount of $6,035. And then we have engineering fees in the amount of $61,033.94. And there are legal fees, $3,500, and then construction fees, $192,862.58. And that makes the total of $263,431.52.
And I'd like to point out, this is for the Exit 1 project, which the city treasury fronts the cost, and then we request payment back from the various groups that have agreed to provide the funding. So we need to approve all these separately. That's what I thought. All right, need a motion to approve. Let's do the global approval first, and then we'll go through each of the individual ones. So, need a motion to approve Region 1 local funds drawdown pay request number 17 in the amount of $263,431.52. So a motion and a second. Questions, comments? All in favor of approval, signify by saying aye. Aye. All right, and then related, I need a motion to approve R&K invoice in the amount of $61,033.94. Motion and a second. Questions, comments? All in favor of approval, signify by saying aye. Aye. Approval of an PICO invoice in the amount of $192,862.58. Motion and a second. Questions, comments, revisions? All in favor of approval, signify by saying aye. Aye. Approval of Region 1 EDC invoice in the amount of $6,035. Motion and a second. Questions, comments? All in favor of approval, signify by saying aye. Aye. Approval of William Winfrey invoice in the amount of $3,500. So have a motion. Do I have a second? I've got a second. I have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments? All in favor of approval, signify by saying aye. Aye. I'd like to say, Bill Winfrey has done a lot of work on this project. I've been involved in numerous conversations with him, so I appreciate his low bidding on this. I think he's underpriced himself for what he's done, but really appreciate everybody pulling together to make this project work, because the funding for it is very, very tight, and it's been very creative trying to figure out all the various contingencies that have gone on up there and how to get those paid. And Jim and his team and Lori and her group have done a great job of doing that. So appreciate it. Danny, approval of the collection list.
Yes, sir. We poured 25 individuals in regards to collections. We sent those individual letters. Of those, we have had 5 of them call and make arrangements for payment or have settled their billing for. The remaining individuals totaling $7,702.43 have not made any kind of arrangements, and I request that they be put forward.
Motion to approve the collection list as presented. A motion and a second. Any questions or comments? All in favor of approval, signify by saying aye. Aye. Since Jim's gone, I guess last but not least, Cecil.
All right, we'll be brief. Hey, folks in the community, just to give you a heads up, speed bumps are coming out this week. So they started Monday and all day, every day is speed bumps. So I know everybody will be happy to hear about that. And I just wanted to, you'll be glad that speed bumps are out there. I'll be glad. That's right. We'll all be happy. And then the other piece, just thank the board and the community for the salary discussion, the policy discussion, and the college, lower college project. Those are three really huge things. We're going to change some lives come May with the salary restructure and take care of some good folks that have been rowing hard for the city. So I'm very appreciative of everyone and for the board's approval to get that done, especially Danny and Miss Kelly Davis, if she's ever listening out there to board meeting, probably not. But if she's still out there, I owe her something. So,
She's done with us.
that's right, she's done. But that's all I've got, Mayor. Thank you.
All right, wow. Cecil, keep it brief.
Come on, man, come on. That ain't gonna wore me out last night, so I'm tapped out.
All right, anything else?
No, sir.
All right, need a motion to adjourn. All in favor, signify by saying aye.